Hi, Martha Creek here, marthacreek.com, reading from Martha's Pearls, A Spiritual Approach to Life, Chapter 19. Fix Self. That concludes the chapter. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Remember that song? Some of you are singing it along right now. With my love for learning, it was one of my favorite shows. It made for a fun way of learning that words had not only meaning, but also functions. I'm a little less interested in what our functions are and more concerned with our functioning, no matter the function. So, how are you functioning? As a divine being in a human experience, have you noticed you are sometimes prone to patterns, to patterning, prone to upsets, confusion, doubt, edges, being bristled, impatience? Recently, I used the comparison of being a funnel or a sponge relative to emotional functionality. When we're in a situation in which we're facilitating a discussion or processing a large amount of information or an intense emotional process, will it be more effective for me to be a funnel or a sponge? As a funnel, we can easily and effectively process information and move the key points to a desired endpoint, a decision, or delivery. As a sponge, we absorb. We take on information. We take on the feelings, the emotions, the intensity, and we're negatively impacted both physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. This can leave us overwhelmed, emotionally exhausted, depleted, drained, confused, bewildered, worn out, oversaturated. The sponge, when it becomes full, cannot do its job. A sponge that is full is basically useless. While it took on the spill, it may end up far less effective. As oversaturated sponges, like sponges, we begin to leak. We're soggy, and we create more messes and more cleanup that has to be done. And in worst cases, we even start to mold and stink when we're too full. No matter what our function or current level of functioning, I believe at a core level, we all desire to be our best selves, to be emotionally present and at the highest level of functioning. It is important that we learn to manage and regulate ourselves. This requires that we, number one, distinguish fact and feeling. Keep a clear distinction between facts and feelings. Two, assume responsibility for our own feelings. Three, don't assume responsibility for others' feelings. Four, regulate and repair my own anxiety. Five, define myself to others and stay in touch with them, regardless of where they stand or where they're coming from. 7, do not insist or expect others to feel, think, or act like I do. 8, allow time for things to process. That's one of the hardest for me. I'm in a hurry. 9, hang in there, persevere, and be uncommonly motivated to see things through. 9, be resilient. Use a wide repertoire of response, less patterned. And finally, accept that anxiety, tension, and pain, suffering are all parts of the human learning process. Take a stand and stay more relaxed in that stance. Avoid thinking that sees others, other people, or other situations as good or bad, right or wrong, black or white. Can you imagine the difference in you if you were to integrate even one of these tenets? Now expand that further as you begin to show up in your relationships differently with your spouse, partner, family, workplace, community, world, with this new way of being, this new clarity of mind. Little baby steps go a long way in matters of our emotional functioning. I enjoy assessment tools that allow me to see my patterned ways of being, that along with awareness, I have the opportunity to not only understand, but also to change, to improve. www.drcraigmalkin.com/the narcissism test is a link to a survey on our narcissism qualities. It's quick, easy, and quite powerful in its brilliant delivery of the full spectrum of narcissism. It clarifies that we are all actually narcissists. Therefore, we don't examine, am I a narcissist? But how am I a narcissist? Some narcissistic ways are actually healthy. What is in your mind that you continue to avoid looking at? What's the price you pay for not looking, seeing, and telling the truth about yourself or a situation? What's the payoff for keeping the focus on your pain and suffering and misery? What are the consequences to your life for staying stuck in these old painful patterns that we've innocently adopted? What's another possibility for you? What is something that you're willing to do differently to create a different experience for your life? It is important to remember the one thing in the world we can do something about is our own functioning, our reaction to what is. Change what we can, accept what we cannot, and know the difference. When we know what to do, we do it. Follow our own internal guidance system. Stay the course. And through this application and this increased devotional practice in emotional functionality, we can experience solid ground through our connection with our own self and our high self. Blessings.